Hello beautiful people, my name is Matt, also known as the Humble Bear, and I'm talking all things mindfulness, mental health, spiritual well-being, anything and any wisdom, any knowledge from my life, sharing it with you to hopefully help you in your life and help you on your journey. So today I really want to talk about who you are, like who you are, what you are. You know, what are we? What are we as beings? What are we as people? And I don't mean the labels we give ourselves. I don't mean like, oh, I'm Matt, or oh, I'm 37, or oh, you know, those labels. I'm a father. All these labels. I don't mean those at all. What I mean is who we actually are. You know, what it is we are underneath all of that. So to start with, let's work out what we're not. So we have this body, right? We have a body. You know, like we have hands. We can see our hands. We can see our body. It's like, this is like a vessel for us. We know that we're not the body because if that's what we were, we wouldn't be able to witness it. We wouldn't be able to see it. We wouldn't be able to feel it. It would be something, you know, something that was us as an entity. It'd be like, you know, when you play like a first-person video game and you're just looking at the eyes of the character and you can't see anything else. It's like, oh no, it's like we're behind it. It's almost like we can see, we can witness, we can feel, we can everything of the body, right? So we know that. And we also know that we're not the body, because if we lost part of the body, say like, for example, I mean, this is not what I'm going to do because it'd be quite traumatic and quite horrendous, but if I cut my arm off, you know, and I lost that arm, I'd still be me. You know, I'd still be Matt. Well, I'd still be the entity that I call Matt, you know. I wouldn't be any less. Okay, I'd probably be quite traumatized, but I wouldn't be any less. As a person, it's like when I was 6 years ago, when I looked in the mirror, I probably looked very different. But the me that was looking out was still the same. I was still there. I've always been there. Okay, so now I know that I am not the body. This is a body, it's something that I have. It's something that I get to interact with. It's something that allows me to feel, that allows me to see, that allows me to smell, to taste, to interact with this beautiful and amazing world that we have around us. Okay, so what if I'm not my body? Then what am I? You know? I've got this mind, I've got these thoughts that go on in my head. I can hear these thoughts, I can hear these voices, you know, not in a crazy way. Listen, we all have voices in our head, we all have the voice. You know, if you're standing there saying, I don't know what voice you're talking about, it's that one. It's that one that's saying that. So how do we know that we're not our thoughts? How do we know that we're not our mind? Well, because we get to experience it. I can hear my thoughts. You know, I can step away from my thoughts and witness my thoughts. Now, if that was me, if I was my thoughts, if I was the mind, if I was the ego, then I wouldn't be able to witness, I wouldn't be able to hear, I wouldn't be able to interact with them. And you know, I wouldn't be able to detach myself from that. Now, anyone who's meditated for any period of time knows that when the mind stops, we're still there. We're still there as a witness. You know, meditation isn't necessarily about getting the mind to stop, but it does allow us to, you know, find that moment of peace. It's like when you go and see an amazing sunset or something that's so beautiful that you're like, oh my God. And the mind's just silent, but you're still there. So you're not the mind. And if you're not the mind, then you are the one that witnesses it. You're the one that gets to interact with it. So what is the mind? The mind is something that allows us to process all of the feelings, all of the sensations of the body. It allows us to process this. It allows us to analyze. It allows us to analyze the past, and it allows us to experience the present, and it allows us to predict or try to predict the future. That's what the mind does. It's like, and it's super creative. It allows us to imagine, to come up with all these things. So if we're not the body and we're not the mind, then what are we? So we're the spirit, we're the soul, we're the Atman, the indwelling being, the being that is inside, that is behind all of that. You know, it's behind the mind that is in the body, that just is the witness. You know, that's what they call witness consciousness. It's like we are there to witness ourselves go through this life, to witness our body go through what it goes through, to witness the mind go through what the mind goes through. But we've got so much of this stuff confused, you know. Some people are so in this world, they believe that they are their body. They truly believe that they are their body. You know, other people, and this is 99% of the world, believe that they are the mind. They have given their power over to the mind. The mind runs their life. The mind tells them everything to do. It's like, the mind said to do that, got to do that. I believe that no one in this world has ever done anything truly intentionally evil. They just did what their mind told them to do. What their mind told them was justified. Okay? And so with this learning, what I'm talking about today, it allows us to get away from that. It allows us to observe the mind, to choose what it is we want to interact with, how we want to interact with the mind. Do we want to follow that, or do we want to quieten the mind? Do you want to quieten the mind, sit back from the mind, look at all the options that the mind comes up with? Do we want to do A, B, or C? And then use our heart, use our intuition, use our soul, use our witness, the consciousness that is there, the spark of divinity, the part of the whole that is within us. Like the whole, the universe is like a paradox. It's like we are all one, everything is one, but we're also separate. It's like, yes, you're one, but you're separate. It's just one of those things that the mind cannot comprehend. It's because a lot of things in spirituality are a paradox. And so you are this spark of consciousness, this spark of divinity, whatever you choose to call that, within a body, behind the mind, that has the honor of experiencing this life. And so we get to choose how we interact. We get to choose, do we want to struggle through life? Do we want to struggle against the flows of life? Or do we want to flow? Do we want to use the mind to analyze what's going on, but use our intuition to pick the route that we want to go on? To pick the channel that we want to follow. To use our hearts to find our purpose. To find why we're here on this earth. To follow that flow, to be going in the right direction. To be swimming almost towards happiness, joy, abundance, love. And it's just, but what's happened is, in this life, is we have put all these blocks, all these barriers, all these limiting beliefs within us. This is the mind. We've given it this job of trying to protect us, to try and run our lives. And it's like it's put all these obstacles in the way. And now what's happening is we're being asked to remove them. Okay, and to sit back behind and observe the obstacles, to observe the thoughts, to see what they truly are, where they come from, why they're there. They're there as protection. They're there to try and protect ourselves from feeling bad. We're given the mind this job. Is said to it at some point, I want you to make it so I never feel bad. It's like, that's an impossible task, and it's like, you've just given a really, really creative supercomputer the job of making you not feel bad. It's like, what a waste of energy, what a waste of resource. And it's like, and you can't truly ever feel bad. Things just happen the way they do. It's like our choice how we get to experience them. So I hope this helps someone today. It's been awesome to share. This is something that's really, really helped me, knowing I'm not the mind. I am not the mind. I am the one who witnesses it. It's phenomenal. If you want to delve into this even more, I really, really recommend the books by Michael Singer. You've got The Untethered Soul, which is his kind of like spiritual teaching. He's literally my favorite spiritual teacher. Or you've got The Surrender Experiment, which is his life story. How, by practicing things like this is how his life panned out, and the amazing turns of events that happened throughout his life. Anyone is interested in anything that I do, anyone interested in some guidance, anyone just needs some help, please reach out. You can find me at www.humblebear.co.uk. And I hope everyone found that really, really helpful, really insightful. And if you didn't, there'll be plenty more videos. So I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. See you later.